Boys, today we are continuing our trilogy of Mass Effect games with what is arguably the greatest of them all, Mass Effect 2. We're back in the story of Commander Shepard, the Normandy, and the greatest crew in the galaxy as they go to war with an alien race known as the Collectors. Of course, we bring back our Fem Shep from last video, and this time we're going to be going for a real easy 45 trophies. We're going to jump right back into it with our GOAT Shepard and immediately get blown into space and killed. I'm off to a great start if you can't tell. But hey, we saved Joker and the rest of the crew, and after being dead for 2 years, a terrorist group called Cerberus rebuilds Shepard from the ground up. Weirdly, without eyebrows, but that's besides the point. Getting brought back to life, Netzo's trophy number 2, and this is also where we meet our first two squad mates, Miranda Lawson, who is a genetically engineered biotic supermodel, and Jacob Taylor, who is the world's most boring man. Shepard reluctantly agrees to work with Cerberus to lead the fight against the Collectors, who, surprise, surprise, were the ones responsible for killing her. The Collectors have been abducting entire human colonies without a trace, and Cerberus wants them stopped. Not out of the goodness of their hearts, but because they are this wildly xenophobic, racist, human terrorist group. They don't want humans going extinct to some alien bug cult. We got ourselves a shiny upgraded version of the Normandy, and best of all, our boy Joker is back in the pilot seat. We got our first skill/ability-based trophy by performing 30 headshots on humanoid enemies. It's easy peasy. Next up, we travel to the planet Omega for our first couple of recruitments, the first of which is a mysterious vigilante known only as Archangel. And it turns out it's Garrus. The best bro in the galaxy returns. Recruiting him earned us trophy number 4, and it makes the idea of working for this shady little terrorist group just a bit more bearable. Our ride or die is back. Next up, I grabbed a trophy for lighting 20 enemies on fire. We're cooked. How did I get that trophy? And then I stayed on Omega for our next recruitment. This time, we headed into the slums, where mysterious illness is ravaging the Batarian population. Personally, I say good riddance, but we got to find this doctor who is running a local clinic, and enter Mordin Solus, the very definition of a scientist Solarian. Dude, I fucking love this guy. We recruited him by helping develop a cure for that disease. And there's our next trophy. Hell yeah. And with him came access to research projects. Completing my first one of those got us trophy number 7, and then I scanned an unexplored world and found a random mission there, buried in the data. I knocked it out, and just like that, another trophy in the bag. Before grabbing our next squad mate, who was a hot tattooed biotic with rage issues, I used the Overlord ability 25 times to disrupt enemy shields. Next up, we recruited Jack, who is that said hot biotic tattooed chaos machine, and she's mean, and I can't tell if we like it or not. There we go, we got Jack. While playing, I came across 15 new codex entries that are specifically added in Mass Effect 2. Then I hit 20 enemies with multiple biotic powers at the same time, such as push and lift, for example, earning us yet another trophy. Next up, we try to recruit a Krogan warlord, and I know what you're thinking, it's definitely Rex, right? Well, no. Sadly, Rex doesn't join us on this journey. Instead, we find Warlord Okeer, but he ends up dying pretty much immediately. Yes, I know it's sad. Anyways, turns out he's grown a Krogan in a back-to-tank type of setup, and this guy is the purest Krogan possible. Our squad debates whether or not we should release it, but my Shepard don't speak a little bitch, so we open the tank immediately. His name is Grunt, and I would die for him. And there we go. We have our son. And it was time to defend a human colony that is actively under attack by the Collectors. Sadly, we weren't able to save everyone, but we did run into the lovely Ashley Williams, who survived the attack. However, instead of joining us, she roasted the hell out of us for working with Cerberus and went on her way. I used the warp ability 25 times, which nets us trophy number 15, and then we recruited a Drell assassin named Thane Krios. He's got some kind of space cancer and is dying, but man, he is a badass nonetheless. At some point, I also recruited the DLC squad mate Kasumi, and she doesn't have a trophy for her recruitment, but she does have one tied to her loyalty mission. So now's a good time to explain the loyalty missions. Each squad mate has a unique mission tied to their backstory or personal goals. Completing it earns their loyalty, which is going to be super important for surviving the final mission of the game. In Kasumi's loyalty mission, it's a friggin' heist, dude, with a vault and a sexy dress for Shepard and an emotional knife in the heart. because it turns out the man she loved left her a final message before he died, and then he asked her to destroy it for the greater good, and it's one of the cooler loyalty missions in the game, in my opinion. Next came our next squad mate, and it's our second ride or die. Guys, the Normandy's best girl returns, because Tali Zora joins the fight after we help her deal with a Geth and rescue one of her friends. Fully maxed out one of my powers, which evolved it for trophy number 19. And then it was time for Grunt's loyalty mission. Guys, he's going through Krogan puberty. So we head to the Krogan homeworld of Tuchanka to figure out what the hell's going on with my son. And who do we run into? Boys, it's Rex. I knew that beautiful bastard would be in this game at some point. Honestly, at this rate, everyone but Caden's going to show up. Now it is important to note that Rex is in the game only because he survived Mass Effect 1. Just another cool note, the decisions in one game can ripple through the entire trilogy, which I think is really neat. Turns out, we have to complete some of the rites of passage for Grunt, and he chooses us to stand with him, because we are his battle master, and we have no goddamn equal. During the trials, we kill what is basically the sandworm from the movie Dune, which in this universe is called a Thresher Maw. Beating it earned us Grunt's loyalty and another trophy. So while on Tuchanka, we have another loyalty mission that we gotta knock out, and it's Mordin's. Turns out, he was involved in the modification of the genophage, the biological weapon that has cursed the Krogan with near extinction level fertility rates for centuries. We learned that Mordin's old assistant went rogue, and he was trying to cure the genophage, but he was doing it by experimenting on innocent Krogan test subjects. Mordin ends up killing him, and we chose to keep the data from his experiments because that decision is going to have major implications in the next game. Now with Mordin's loyalty secured, I proceeded to incinerate 25 enemies' armor using his incinerate ability, which gave us trophy number 23. Next up, we hit our next major story mission, and it brings us aboard a collector ship that the elusive man actually led us to so we can learn more about their tech and how they're abducting colonies. Turns out the whole thing was a trap, however, and we walked right into this setup. Completing this mission gave us trophy number 24, and then we moved on to recruit our next squad mate, an Asari Justicar named Samara. Her recruitment was actually pretty straightforward. We just had to solve a murder, which turned out to be part of a gang initiation, and then she joined our squad, bringing this calm, deadly energy with her. Now it is time for the first DLC of the game, the Shadow Broker DLC. Now this reunites us with our old friend and Mass Effect 1 love interest, Liara Tassoni, and we help her take down a massive criminal overlord and watch her take his place as the galaxy's most well-informed woman and the new Shadow Broker. Heart of Darkness. I think that's for confronting the Shadow Broker, if I remember correctly. Next up is Jacob's loyalty mission, and look, it's actually a good one, guys. Turns out Jacob's dad went full villain after crash landing on a planet with a toxin that slowly drove his crew insane, so he took advantage of them for years, until we showed up and let Jacob kill him. And by that, I mean Jacob just handed him a loaded gun and made him kill himself. And with that, we got Jacob's loyalty, and we got trophy number 27. I followed that up with a quick trophy for upgrading one of our weapons fully for trophy number 28. Then came Thane's loyalty mission, which involves stalking his son so that we can help them reconnect before Thane's time runs out. Garrus' loyalty mission isn't too rough, we just gotta help him murder a guy. Like I said, we're ride or dies, I just never promised it would be us doing the dying. There we go. Next up was another DLC loyalty mission, this time for Zaid, who is a grumpy mercenary, and this one's actually a bit trickier, because you have to lean a bit more renegade than I usually would, so I chose to help him get revenge on a guy named Vito, instead of saving the innocent people that were inside of a burning facility. In my opinion, it's worth it in the end. Then we helped Samara take down her serial killer daughter after almost getting seduced by this hot blue psychopath, and our loyalty was earned once again. Now it's time for Jack's loyalty mission. We broke into the Cerberus facility where she was tortured as a child, and we blew it to Kingdom Come. After all that, I needed a breather, so I went exploring. I found an unexplored star cluster and scanned 100% of its planets for trophy number 34, and then I completed 5 missions on unexplored worlds for trophy number 35. Now we move into the second DLC of the game, Project Overlord. Now this is easily the most emotional mission for me personally, so I'm not going to crack any jokes about it. We're sent to shut down what we were told is a rogue VI, aka virtual intelligence, but the horrifying truth of this is that it's not a VI at all. It's actually a real person. It's an autistic kid named David, who's being brutally tortured and forcefully wired into the system to serve as this VI. I saved David and sent him to an Alliance biotic school, hoping he would get help not just to control his abilities, but hopefully to start healing from this traumatic experience. Jesus. That's such a fucked up mission, but it's so beautifully told. Like, genuinely spectacularly told. We pretty quickly knocked out Miranda's loyalty mission, which just sees us saving her sister from her fucked up father. After that, we tackle the mission to obtain the Reaper IFF, an essential component to reach the Collector base. We boarded a derelict Reaper, fought through waves of husks and Reaper tech, and we learned that Cerberus had been experimenting here too. Inside, we find a lone Geth unit who turns out to be Legion, and he becomes our final squad mate. He's logical, loyal, and he's just weird enough for us to love. Next came Tali's mission. She's on trial, charged with treason for sending Geth parts to her father, which is an action that nearly endangers the entire migrant fleet. We helped her clear her name, and she was changed from Tali Zora Vas Nima to Tali Zora Vas Normandy. This shows that her true home is with us and with the crew of the Normandy. The best girl indeed. Now it's Legion's loyalty mission. It kind of feels like we got dropped into a Tron simulation here. Like, it's a deep dive into Geth history, which is, I mean, kind of cool if you like the lore of it. But we had to stop a virus threatening to corrupt them. It was weird, and I didn't like it, but completing it gave us the last bit of loyalty we needed. Now, with every squad mate loyal, it was finally time for the suicide mission. Our entire crew gets kidnapped except for Joker, who survives by crawling his brittle bone booty ass through the vents and then shackling the Normandy's AI. I completely forgot to talk about Edie. She's a state-of-the-art AI, integrated into the Normandy, and she becomes absolutely crucial to our success. To rescue our crew and stop the Collectors, we had to enter the Omega 4 relay. This is a one-way trip into Collector territory. Now, throughout the game, I've been upgrading the ship to prepare for this exact moment. Heavy ship armor saved us from the beam that destroyed the original Normandy. Multi-core shielding protected us from debris impacts, and the Phoenix cannon gave us the firepower to survive the final approach. Now, the suicide mission is the most high-stakes moment in the entire game. You don't just charge in with 2 squad mates and hope for the best. You gotta make choices. These choices directly determine who lives and who dies. First, you need a tech expert to crawl through the vents, so I sent Tali. 1, she's a genius. 2, she's loyal. 3, she's the best girl. Then you assign a fire team leader. I feel like Garrus was the obvious choice for this because who else am I going to trust? Later, you got to pick a biotic specialist to shield the team through a seeker swarm tunnel, so I went with Jack because she is literally built for this. And finally, you assign another fire team leader and someone to escort the crew back. I chose Garrus once again for the fire team because he's my GOAT, and I chose Mordin because he's the weakest of us, and I didn't want him to die. Now, these decisions are going to matter because if someone isn't loyal or if you choose the wrong person, they die permanently. And the big twist. The Collectors aren't just some rogue alien faction. They actually work for the Reapers. The entire game has been building to one... The entire game has been willing... My God. The entire game has been leading to one chilling truth. The Reapers are coming. This was just the beginning. And by defeating a human Reaper, we survived the suicide mission without losing a single person. Every squad mate, every crew member, and for now, we've saved humanity. Because of that, we earned the last 4 trophies in quick succession, including that beautiful, beautiful platinum trophy. Is. Hold on. We're getting a couple against all odds.
Yeah, I get the gist of it, Edie. Hold on.
No, just the one. Mission accomplished. Yep. With this. It's so finicky. Now, I know damn well no one died on that suicide mission.
To win this one.
And there it is. And that should be the platinum with it, right? Yes, it is. N7 Elite. You'll love to see it. Truly love to see it. Now, as always, it is time for my final thoughts on the game. And look, Mass Effect 2 is genuinely so much better than the first game. Not that the first game isn't great, but this one takes everything from the first one that I loved and cranks it up all across the board. My only real complaint, I just kind of wish we got more of the OG squad mates back. You know, stuff like Liara being DLC and Ashley not being with us, well, it just kind of makes them feel a little less loyal heading into Mass Effect 3. Well, this new squad, dude, they're fucking ride or die. Except Jacob, we don't like him. I love this game's overarching story of figuring out whether Cerberus is worth trusting. Spoiler alert, they're not. And then the slow burn reveal that the Collectors are secretly working for the Reapers. That twist, I feel like it ties everything back to Mass Effect 1 while raising the stakes for the entire trilogy. It sets up the third game perfectly, and the suicide mission absolutely nails the payoff of everything you've built up to. Overall, I am going to give this game a solid 9.5 out of 10. Might be the highest I've rated a game so far. I don't know. But it's easily one of the best games I've platinumed so far. As always, if you enjoyed this video, or you just want to watch my lame self complete video games to 100%, please come hang out with us over at twitch.tv/thatguysage. The link is in the description. Also, smash that like button and let me know in the comments your thoughts on Mass Effect or what games I should platinum in the future. Shit, wait. I almost forgot. There's one more post-game DLC called Arrival. I ran through it real quick purely so I could genocide some of these damn Batarians. Anyways, bye guys, and as always, I hope to see you soon.